In this journey of exploration and discovery through ancient Greek wisdom, I invite you to immerse yourself in the world of Stoicism, a path that will guide us toward the conquest of inner serenity. Today we will focus on 8 valuable lessons inspired by Greek mythology, each lesson a reflection of strength, wisdom, and courage, embodied in the stories of legendary gods and heroes. At the heart of this journey we find Athena, the revered goddess of wisdom, whose spirit permeates every teaching. Like Athena, who with her clear intelligence guided heroes and mortals, so we seek to navigate through the waves of overthinking, armed with the light of reason and emotional balance. Through these ancient myths, we will discover how adopting a Stoic perspective can transform our excessive thoughts into a source of strength. These stories, passed down for centuries, are not just tales of a bygone era. They are beacons and guides for those who seek to live a more thoughtful and harmonious life in the tumultuous sea of the present. So, prepare yourselves for a journey that weaves myth with reality, the past with the present, teaching us how the principles of Stoicism, rooted in Greek mythology, can be applied to our daily lives. Each step in this adventure will be another piece in the puzzle of understanding how to stop overthinking, learning instead to live with intention, resilience, and wisdom. Join me on this exploration as we rediscover together the ancient paths of wisdom, illuminated by the immortal light of Athena. In the ancient Greek legends, Athena, the goddess of wisdom, emerges as a figure of intellectual calm and insight. Her myth teaches us a fundamental lesson. True strength lies in choosing wisdom over impulsive emotion. In our struggle against overthinking, Athena invites us to pause, reflect, and ask ourselves, is this thought guided by wisdom or by instinct? Imagine standing at a mental crossroads where on one side are winding paths of doubt and worry, and on the other, a clear path, illuminated by the light of reason. Athena urges us to choose the latter, guided not by haste or anxiety but by thoughtful reflection and intellect. In every moment of uncertainty when the mind is agitated in a sea of thoughts, let us ask ourselves, what would Athena do? She, with her shining armor and piercing gaze, did not let herself be overwhelmed by emotional storms, but always found the way of wisdom. This does not mean suppressing emotions, but rather understanding them, examining them in the light of reason, and then acting consciously and measuredly. In our daily lives, when we are besieged by anxious or pessimistic thoughts, let's take a moment to pause. Breathe deeply, letting Athena's wisdom guide us, and ask ourselves whether these thoughts are truly useful or if they are merely echoes of unfounded fears. With this approach, we can transform overthinking into an opportunity for growth and maturity, just as the sages of antiquity sought the counsel of their revered goddess. Hercules, known for his 12 labors, is a symbol of strength and courage, but also of mental resilience. His challenges, seemingly insurmountable, represent our internal conflicts, our excessive thoughts that seem like giants to be defeated. From Hercules, we learn that facing challenges, rather than avoiding them, is the key to overcoming overthinking. When an anxious thought assaults us, we can see it as one of Hercules' labors. Instead of pushing it away or ignoring it, we must gather our inner courage and confront it. Let's ask ourselves, what is the root of this thought? What can I learn from it? How can I overcome it? Hercules did not rely solely on his physical strength. He also used ingenuity and reflection. Similarly, we must combine inner strength and wisdom to face our overwhelming thoughts. This may mean analyzing the thought, recognizing its irrational origins, and then planning strategies to overcome it, just as Hercules planned how to tackle each of his labors. Hercules' example also teaches us the importance of persistence. Some thoughts may be more tenacious than others, requiring time and effort to overcome. But just as Hercules never gave up, neither should we give in to overthinking. Every challenge overcome is a step forward towards serenity and inner strength. Penelope, the faithful wife of Odysseus, teaches us a lesson of patience and perseverance in adversity. Her long wait for her husband's return symbolizes the ability to endure uncertainties and maintain hope, even in the darkest moments. When our thoughts seem to drag us into a vortex of anxiety and doubt, Penelope's myth reminds us to remain steadfast and patient. Penelope's patience is not passive. It is an active resistance against anguish and despair. In this, we find a powerful antidote to overthinking: acceptance. Accepting that not everything in life is under our control, and that some processes take time to unfold, helps us free ourselves from the grip of incessant thoughts. Instead of letting ourselves be overwhelmed by thoughts, let us follow Penelope's example and face our waiting with serenity and determination. This means living in the present without letting worry about the future dominate us. Whenever we feel anxious or impatient, let us remember Penelope who, with her loom, wove her patience day by day. Her story also teaches us the importance of constancy. Penelope did not allow herself to be distracted or demoralized by external pressures, but remained faithful to her goal. Similarly, when we feel overwhelmed, we must remain true to our principles and continue to work toward our goals, one step at a time, always keeping faith in the path we have chosen. Achilles, the hero of legendary fame, is often remembered for his valor in battle, but also for his inability to control his anger, which ultimately led to tragic consequences. His story offers us a crucial lesson: the need to master our most irrational impulses and to govern intense emotions like anger. When we are overwhelmed by a flow of negative thoughts, it can be easy to fall into the trap of anger, just like Achilles. Anger may seem like an escape from our thoughts, but in reality, it only leads us to further internal conflicts. Achilles teaches us that yielding to anger is a choice that can have lasting and damaging consequences, both for ourselves and for those around us. To avoid following in Achilles' footsteps, we must learn to recognize the signs of impending anger. When we feel that anger is rising, let's take a moment to breathe deeply and ask ourselves, is this anger justified? Is it proportionate to the situation? What can I do to calm it? Learning to manage anger requires practice and self-awareness. We can take example from wiser figures in mythology, like Athena, who act with calm and reflection. Confronting anger does not mean suppressing it, but understanding its roots and transforming it into a more positive and constructive energy. In this way, we learn from Achilles not only what to avoid, but also how we can grow and mature through understanding and controlling our most powerful emotions. Socrates, the Athenian philosopher, left us an invaluable legacy: the importance of self-knowledge. His famous saying, "Know thyself," resonates as a call to explore the depths of our mind and spirit. In the context of overthinking, this Socratic maxim guides us to investigate the origins and motivations of our incessant thoughts. Socrates, with his method of dialogue and probing questions, teaches us to question ourselves, not to passively accept every thought that crosses our minds. When we find ourselves trapped in a cycle of excessive thoughts, let's ask ourselves Socratic questions. Why am I thinking about this? Does this thought reflect reality? Or is it the result of a misperception? What can I learn from it? Self-knowledge is not an easy task. It requires honesty, vulnerability, and above all, the willingness to face aspects of ourselves that may be uncomfortable or difficult. However, as Socrates demonstrated through his life and teachings, it is through this process of inner exploration that we can achieve a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Through self-knowledge, we can begin to discern which thoughts deserve our attention and which can be gently released. This process allows us to free ourselves from the grip of overthinking and to live a more present, aware, and fulfilling life. Apollo, the god of light and art, is an emblem of balance and harmony. In his myth, we find the key to tackling overthinking: moderation. Apollo, with his lyre, not only enchanted the gods but also maintained order and balance in the world. So too can we, through moderation, find balance in our thoughts, avoiding the extremes of negativity or excessive worry. When thoughts seem to overwhelm our mind, we can look to Apollo as a model of balance. Let us ask ourselves, am I giving too much weight to this thought? Is there a more balanced way to consider this situation? Like Apollo with his lyre, we can tune our thoughts, seeking harmony rather than dissonance. Apollo's moderation also teaches us the importance of self-regulation. Recognizing when our thoughts are becoming too heavy or negative, and knowing how to bring them back to a more manageable level, is essential for maintaining mental health and emotional well-being. Let us be inspired by Apollo's wisdom to find our inner balance, transforming overthinking into a symphony of calmer, more reflective, and harmonious thoughts. Odysseus, the hero of the Odyssey, is celebrated for his cunning and ingenuity, qualities that allowed him to overcome countless obstacles during his long journey home. His ability to navigate through complex and deceptive situations offers us a valuable lesson: the use of cunning to manage overthinking. When we find ourselves in a spiral of excessive thoughts, we can draw on Odysseus's wisdom. Instead of letting ourselves be overwhelmed, let us seek creative and unconventional solutions. Let us ask ourselves, what is a different way to approach this situation? How can I use my ingenuity to overcome this mental obstacle? The Greek hero teaches us that sometimes the direct path is not the most effective. Exploring alternative routes, thinking outside the box, can be the key to freeing ourselves from the chains of overthinking. Odysseus never limited himself to a single strategy. He evaluated every option, weighing the pros and cons, and chose the most cunning path. By following Odysseus's example, we can learn to manage our thoughts in a more flexible and creative way, turning the labyrinth of overthinking into a path of discovery and personal growth. Epicurus, a philosopher of ancient Greece, is known for his emphasis on the pursuit of happiness and inner tranquility. His philosophy teaches us the value of focusing on the present and finding joy in the simple pleasures of life. In the context of overthinking, Epicurus's lesson guides us to redirect our attention from the uncertain future and the irretrievable past to the here and now. When we are overwhelmed by anxious thoughts or worries about the future, we can turn to Epicurus's teachings. Let us remember to appreciate the present moments, big or small, and to find contentment in daily experiences. Let us ask ourselves, what simple pleasures can I enjoy today? What can I appreciate in this moment? Epicurus encourages us to cultivate meaningful relationships, enjoy nature, and find satisfaction in activities we love. Instead of letting ourselves be consumed by overthinking, we can choose to live a life guided by the conscious pursuit of happiness, one step at a time, in the present. By following the path of Epicurus, we can distance ourselves from the traps of overthinking and move closer to a more serene and fulfilling life, where every moment is lived fully and with gratitude. Through this journey into ancient wisdom, we have together discovered 8 powerful lessons of Stoicism, inspired by Greek mythology. From Athena to Epicurus, each figure has offered us a unique piece of the puzzle to combat overthinking and find serenity. These stories, rich in heroism, cunning, and introspection, are not mere tales of the past, but guiding lights on our daily path toward a more balanced and mindful life. Remember, the wisdom of our ancestors is ever relevant and can be a powerful tool for facing the challenges of modern life. I encourage you to reflect on these lessons, to put them into practice in your life, and to continue your journey of personal and spiritual growth. If these stories of ancient wisdom have inspired you, I invite you to subscribe to our channel and share this video. Join our community to explore even deeper Stoicism and Greek mythology. Remember to activate the notification bell so you don't miss our next videos. Together, let us continue our journey of discovery and growth, guided by the eternal wisdom of our ancestors.